27th of March, and this upload surrounding the entire issue of human rights violations that I've been experiencing is regarding the issue of recovery. Um, Usually, when a woman gives birth and gets married, it's the start of a fantastic chapter in a woman's life. Um, Unfortunately, the circumstances that I've experienced due to hate crime and the violations and offences that have been perpetrated have tarnished that chapter. So I'd say in the space of 4 years since I gave birth, um, I've had to arrange about 4 or 5 geographicals simply due to mental health issues of individuals that have been intruding and violating me. Um, this hasn't been an easy experience, but as I keep alluding to and mentioning, my prior experience from a former vendetta of my, um, you know, experience from over 10 years ago has helped with what I'm working on at the moment. Um, Basically, the recovery from over a decade ago that I commenced after the first assault of my character and reputation and good name has helped with recent and current events. Um, this situation is a little bit exceptional because there's been more sinister offences occurring. The spiritual aspect is horrendous. Um, to impose and expose and discuss a person's spirituality um, without having interaction with the person they're discussing is just the height of disrespect. Um, this issue of spirituality is quite precious when it comes to human rights. Everyone on the planet has a right to their own personal faith and religion and spirituality. Um, the issue around bodily integrity and health has been a little bit more challenging, but as I've mentioned in previous uploads, um, my recovery from over a decade ago has helped with the circumstances I've been presented with. These circumstances: 28 human rights violations and no explanations. There has been so many offences perpetrated and so much damage done to life, an innocent life, and other innocent lives that the individuals and culprits seem to have no comprehension of. Um, so basically, with regards to the offence of medical care and medical treatment being withheld from me, and having experienced very serious violations of bodily integrity, I've had to work on my own self healing. And as I've discussed, there's been the chronic fibromyalgia, which is only a vague diagnosis from my perspective, from what I've read up about. It could be more serious. And as you can see from the uploads, there's the changes of the visual around, you know, my skeletal form and whatnot. These have been untreated, and this is 2020. So the work that I've been doing since 2006 is helping with what I'm experiencing at the moment. And these offences that have been perpetrated by what I consider to be, you know, pretty mentally unhealthy individuals, um, makes me wonder not only about healthcare but also about mental health and the professionals responsible for contending with these kind of matters. So the changes after birth, like any woman knows, are pretty immense. The changes and the responsibilities of a woman to adapt to symptoms of chronic fibromyalgia are quite shocking for a person that, like myself, was fully productive, very active, very proactive, and culminating also with the other factors of geographicals due to other people's intrusions, just makes a person wonder about the state of mental health of professionals that withhold supports, services, and advocacy for victims like myself in these kind of circumstances that are being intruded upon and that are being defamed and that are being exploited and stolen from. So, chronic fibromyalgia is an uncomfortable ailment. The changes are regarding activity, nutrition, um, etc., etc. So these are changes that I've had to make personally, of my personal choice, and that have also involved a change of lifestyle. Now, as I've mentioned, due to people imposing and intruding and disturbing the peace and making false claims, etc., etc., there's been about five geographicals since I gave birth and got married. Um, the issue around physical health and medical care and self healing is a priority for all individuals and a big responsibility for mature adults. The issue around mental health, I have huge concerns about. As a member of the fellowship that has worked in recovery since 2006, I wonder why people think um, they're in a position to determine the outcomes, the future prospects, the opportunities of another individual, another sovereign being, sentient being, an individual, a citizen, by abusing their position or by falsifying information and making false claims, as what I have experienced, which has involved breaches of confidentiality and which has involved violations of privacy and defamation. So, as regards mental health, I'm wondering why is it that these individuals that have perpetrated hate crime, that have violated my human rights, that have been responsible directly or indirectly in damaging my physical health, my family life, and my professional life, and my financial wealth, have not been confronted. Um, these matters are very serious and they take a toll on anyone's sanity and sobriety and well being. Um, the matter of coping and adjusting and adapting are all heavy issues for one person to confront. But fortunately, as an educated professional and as a member of the fellowship and as a person that's worked in self development and such areas of, psychology and self improvement, it's been a case of adaptability and adjustments. And with the help of AA and what the principles and traditions have taught, they have contributed to this recovery as well. So it's a process and it's not an easy process. And the people, especially females, adults, mature, hopefully, um, should be able to comprehend the seriousness of this kind of a situation, especially when there's been such sinister spiritual violations also. And this matter is ongoing, and there's different aspects to it. And today, the aspect for me is recovery, and the injuries and the insults and the damages done by people that have no comprehension of their thoughtlessness, their inconsideration, and their desire to overtake, overrun, isolate, undermine, and damage, and think they're superior in all that destruction, is inconsequential as far as I'm concerned, when priorities such as physical well being and mental health and hierarchy of needs basically are prioritized and considered. So, all of those kind of issues involving offences by other individuals are insignificant, and it makes me worry about how people are behaving and conducting themselves against such issues as hate crime and human rights violations. So, this issue that I've not received any support, services, or advocacy for, that has involved victimization and violations, and that I've shared about daily due to the serious lies that have been claimed, um, is of utmost importance for other individuals. These uploads are for people that are suffering from other people's mental health issues. These uploads are for people suffering from hate crime. And hate crime and human rights violations affect all aspects of livelihood and well being. So, today, for today's upload, um, I've gratitude for what I've started over a decade ago in 2006. I have minimal resentments towards the people that have no respect, and I have hope that there are politicians and UN agencies with integrity and decency and consideration to realise how serious it is for a light worker to be damaged and violated and exposed and wronged so severely in Tralee County, Kerry. Um, Hopefully, hate crime won't be preceding the values of the Declaration. So, recovery has many aspects to it, but sobriety and sanity is a byproduct when it comes to self healing. And the people that don't know any better about what they're talking about would be best off, I think, not discussing things they don't know, especially when it comes to people they don't know. So, the respect for privacy is of utmost concern also. And the liberties that have been taken in this situation with regards to my personal experience as a light worker, as a mother, as a teacher that has experienced identity theft, defamation, etc., etc. Um, you know, these these are matters that have many aspects to them, and I hope that those people in Europe and Ireland, the politicians, understand what needs to be confronted, because this matter regarding physical health being damaged due to bodily integrity being violated, etc., 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 is a sad sign of the times.